Hey, Lou Mosca, Chief Operating Officer of American Management Services here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. And all the time I preach about how you should have a solid plan to run your business. And sometimes I hesitate and I don't say business plan because I think that intimidates owners from time to time. But in reality, plan, business plan, strategic plan, some kind of direction to get you going in the right step, right? So you don't want to get on a plane and hope the pilot and the co-pilot have a plan on how to get you from Orlando to Scottsdale, right? You want to know that they have a plan, that it's been charted, that they're going to follow it, that other people are holding them accountable to following that flight guide, okay? You want to have a solid plan. So people in my office came to me, Kevin in particular, and said to me, why don't you tell people how you would put together a plan, what you would do? So I want to share with you that first and foremost, here's a business planning guide. And I really like to follow the KISS principle, right? And you all know what that means, and it's keep it simple, stupid. I don't want any one of you to think about a plan, a strategic plan, a business plan as, you know, that 80-page term paper you had to write back in high school that you didn't read, your teacher didn't read, and somehow you got a C- on the darn thing, right? So I'm going to tell you how to get started with drafting a plan, and then I'm going to sort of challenge you on how to do this, okay? So first, let's get started. I want you to define your big idea. What's your big idea? Are you creating something new? Or are you trying to get into a market that already exists? Next, what resources do you have? What are the tools, the resources, the knowledge, the equipment? What do you have to make sure that you can execute against your big idea to make it a reality? Third, how are you going to market yourself? What's your emotional tug? Why would someone want to do business with you at any point in any time when others are already out there? And if it's a new concept that you're coming up with, what problem are you solving by drafting or coming up with your new product? Number 4, boy, you better identify, quantify, and solidify your financial resources. So if you really believe it's going to cost you $100,000 to get off the ground, you better put aside $300,000. If you don't have it, don't stick the key in the door, don't get started. Number 5, you need to set up a system of accountability. I know you're not going to like this, but guess who it starts with? You. Accountability starts with you as the leader, as the owner, because whether you're starting from scratch and it's just you, or you've grown your business to 20 employees, system of accountability. And finally, surround yourself with great advisors. True advisors, not people that rely on you for a paycheck. They're just yes men. Surround yourself with true advisors that you can bounce ideas off of, and they're not afraid to say to you, hey, Jonathan, are you out of your mind? What are you measuring? Why are you doing that? Maybe you should go left instead of going right. So I'm going to help you out with a couple of things here. So I drafted some notes. See my scribble? All right. How do you come up with your big idea? How do you do this? I think that I can't tell you what your concept or your big idea should be. I can tell you that each one of these 6 areas I just gave you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you should start by drafting a paragraph. Not a page, not a book, not a term paper, a paragraph on each idea. So the first concept in drafting your business plan is, what's your big idea, or are you going into trying to capture someone else's market? So I'm going to read to you what I scribbled for me, right? This is my big idea if I'm in your shoes. My business is not unique in its product. It is unique in its why. Why I decided to do this and why it matters. I created my brand of candles and scented sprays to be environmentally friendly and to honor the memory of my mother. My mom was a World War II survivor and was autistic. She raised me to care for others, and in part, I want my brand to reflect her teachings and values. And to make sure I put my money where my mouth is, 25% of all profits that I generate from selling my brand will be donated and have been donated to the Autism Foundation. So that's my rough outline about why I want to go into this business and why it matters to me. I'm trying to find that emotional tug that someone might want to follow. Next area I went to, so that's my one paragraph, right? Next area I went to is, let's take stock of our resources. What do we have to make sure that we can do this properly. My formulas for my candles and for my scented sprays are patent pending. So they're unique in the fact that no one else can knock them off for a period of time once the patent is approved. I have the capacity in my garage to generate X amount of cases of spray and X amount of candles on a daily basis. I need to expand that so that I can grow the way I want. So I have equipment and I have a patent. Those are resources. At present, it's me and 2 part-time high school kids. Why do I do that? Well, I can formulate the stuff. I can press the button on my equipment. I don't want to do the heavy lifting. I want someone else to package them, box them up, and ship them out, which we do all from my garage. We use UPS shipping. Every day at 4 o'clock, we know they're going to come and we ship out. And right now, we only ship wholesale. So, cost me 39 cents to manufacture an 8-ounce aerosol. Cost me 42 cents to manufacture a 4-ounce candle. To package and ship and to fill, we're total in for 69 cents on the aerosol and 88 cents on the candle. Well, to maintain a 40% margin, because that's my minimum margin that I want to maintain on a wholesale basis, I have to sell the aerosol for $1.72 and the candle for $2.20. So I'm trying to take stock of where I'm at and what I need to do to make sure that I can make my plan a reality. Define your marketing strategy. I'm an accountant by training. I don't know diddly from marketing, right? I know you spend money, you hope to get your name out there, and then you pray someone actually contacts you and wants to buy from you, just communicate with you. So let me tell you what we've done. To date, to supplement the wholesale business, we've gone to flea markets. And we've put our product in 4 stores around Greater Orlando on consignment. And we look for feedback when anyone buys it. So we've created these feedback cards. And what we want to do with these feedback cards is we want to start to go do digital marketing on January 1, 21, using these feedback cards as testimonials for why we do what we do. And we make sure that on all of our end caps or anything we create, that there is a autism sign so that people know that 25% of the profit is going to go to autism. We plan to start spending $1,500 a month in January on digital marketing. We're not sure if we should use Google, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it's called. We're not sure what to do with that stuff. And what we plan to do is do a 6-month run at $1,500 a month. So we'll spend about $9,000 and measure as we go along to see what kind of connections or business that we're getting out of this. I'll be the management of that because I don't have any other resources. But the 2 young kids that I have working with me, the high school kids, they're going to do a little bit more of the production area. Identify your financial resources. So you heard me say a little while ago, if you think it's going to cost you $100,000 to get started, make sure you have $300,000. I started this business 4 years ago with $10,000 that I had on a credit card. That's it. I was very lucky that I was able to get some equipment that someone just didn't want anymore for pennies. I was fortunate that I have a big enough garage that we could set it up. I had to run some extra electrical in there. Getting the patent has cost some money, and at first I didn't even apply for the patent. So in the last 12 months, we've sold $127,000 worth of candles and sprays. I don't keep track as well as I should of which we sold more of because all of it's at the same margin. We want to grow the business to $500,000 in 2 years, and so far to date we've 100% self-funded. One of the things I'm aware of is that to go from $500,000 to $2 million, which is what I'd like to be at in 5 years, I'm going to need resources and capital from somewhere else. I don't know if I should go to a bank, try to get an SBA loan, try to bring on a partner. These are things I'm working through, trying to identify the financial resources I'm going to need. Next area, and we're down to the last 2, is set up a system of accountability. Well, it's relatively easy right now because it's me and the 2, but that's an excuse. You should always have a system of accountability that tracks how many hours did you work, how many hours of machine time did you have, how much of your product was rejected, did you have any quality issues. You want to make sure you know your production levels. You always want to know your liquidity levels. You want to know your payroll as a percentage of what you've invoiced. So you always want to set up some systems of accountability. And you're a one-man band, or I'm a one-man band right now. I'd go find some accountant that could give me 2 or 3 hours a week to track all this stuff. That's it. Someone that can take my work on 2 or 3 hours a week and at some point maybe grow into a full-time client. But you have to have a system of accountability, and I'm sorry to tell you again, Lou, it starts with you. My favorite one, nobody ever wants. Surround yourself with solid advisors. I will tell you, almost every independent business owner I know likes to say, I don't need advisors. I know my business better than anyone. You should. You're supposed to. But I don't want you to have advisors to tell you where you should go for lunch. I want you to have advisors so that when you're thinking about strategy, you're thinking about direction, you're thinking about risk taking, you have folks that have had years of experience with successes and failures that can look you in the eye and say, Jonathan, I think that's a great idea because it looks like you could get the following ROI. Or, Kevin, I think that's not a good idea because I've had 2 clients go down that path and they invested X and they got killed because. So I want you to have your eyes wide open. So you'd like to have 2 or 3 advisors that maybe you meet with once a quarter and bounce your ideas off of. And don't bounce the ideas off of them after you've started the idea. Before you started the idea. And when you go to them with an idea, here's what I want to do, here's where I want to do it, here's what it's going to cost me, here's what I think the return is going to be. What do you think? Shoot holes in it. Shoot holes in it. Shoot holes in it. And sooner or later down the road, you might want to reward these advisors if you really get the growth that you should. But to begin with, they should be honored to try to help you if they've been successful in their life. I know I would be. So in summary, I'd like to encourage you that whether you call it a business plan, an outline, a strategic plan, a plan, toilet paper, whatever you call it, I don't really care. I'm telling you to document where you want to go and what's the emotional tug that people should want to do business with you. And so often I hear, we make the best crap ever, or we care about our clients more, or we give the best customer service. Well, you know what? Every store on the corner doing the same thing can't be the best. Something's got to differentiate you. You got to work at that. You got to work at that. This is Lou Mosket, American Management Services in Orlando, Florida. We're here to help. We love talking to business owners. This is what we do every day. If we can help you in any way, feel free to give a call. 800-743-0410. Follow us on Forbes. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on, I don't even know the other crap, LinkedIn, whatever this other stuff is, okay? But we're here to help, okay? God bless. Happy New Year to everybody. I hope everybody's safe and this vaccine gets out to everybody and we could all run around, hug each other in about 3 or 4 or 5 months.